Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another PCM test and possibly repair. This is coming from Premier Trucks in Massachusetts. They have a problem with the P0443. This is a 2003 Ford F-150 Lightning, and these are very common problems. The valve gets shorted and it damages the drivers inside the computer. There is two possibilities what it can happen with this vehicle. One, just the driver. But if it keeps going, because the way that this is designed is a signal that goes back into the computer, main logic, which is the analog to digital converter. And this is just a weak design that Ford has done into these computers because everything passes through there. So if by any chance this keeps going and going, it might end up damaging that analog to digital converter, which now, if you have followed my channel, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. That really helps my small business a lot in my channel. The more subscribers, the more the YouTube promotes my videos, and that helps me a lot. So thank you so much if you do so, and it's for free. So just click in there, and thank you so much. All right, so what I was saying is very common on these ones. So let me show you what I have here. All right, so I have the, as you see, the computer connected to my instrument cluster with my own keys. I already did a parameter reset. For those that don't know what that is the instrument cluster on these Fords is the one that has a mobilizer system, right? So the one that does not allow the truck to start unless you have the correct key. The computer itself, all the computer or the vehicle needs is make sure that, well, the bean is the same, let's say, or perform a parameter reset at least to start the car. So in this case, it's a procedure that will just reset the computer and make or mate the cluster with this computer. So now the computer itself is the cluster that will receive this ID and says, okay, well, now I can allow that to start. And if you have successfully done that, your anti-theft light will go off when you turn the ignition on and then start the car, right? Otherwise, it will just crank and crank and crank, and you will have a flashing. If it's there's something that you replace your computer, the light will stay on and then off, on and then off. When it flashes is when it's a problem with the anti-theft system, like a no key or not a registered key or so. But when you have a steady light or a flash, but a slowly flashing light, it's most likely because the ID of the computer has not been reset properly. All right, so I have the SUS connected, well, connected to the system, and I have a multimeter so you can see the firewall reference. So at first, and I also will run the full pros to check this computer, because in these systems I want to make sure that I can run everything to make sure the computer, when it goes back to the customer, is running perfectly. But let's first do the test for this. So let me get back to, or go over to the scanner. Now we're going to go over to scanner for, and let's do an automatic ID. It should, no problem, ID the vehicle. And it does. So we have, let me just double check, which, I mean, it's just to check with his notes, KC24377. Yeah. So that is indeed the correct VIN number. All right. So let's go over to engine powertrain, automatic with air conditioning. Let's go over to two things that we can do is go to menu. When you do key on, engine off, those first four letters, that's what it means, key on, engine off, self-test, the computer will turn on and off this load. I am connected with a test light, I forgot to mention that, to the purge valve. And I will show you what the difference is into the loads, because I want to make sure to reproduce his concern, and I know this loaded will be the correct one. So let's do the first test. Key on, engine off. See if we have any, and this is a very bright light, so you will definitely see it from there, because this is super, super bright. This is going to take like, 30 seconds. All right, so let's just scroll down to the faults to see if we have the P0443. I will disregard the rest because this is just nothing else is connected, right? So I'm looking for the P0443 right here. Okay, so we do have it. And I click in there, but just, let's see what the recommendation from a Snap-on will be to replace the EVAP purge solenoid, which, yeah, it does fix it, but not in this case, will not, because we have a problem with the computer, right? We not even have the valve in here. Not sure why it's doing the test again. But yeah, so what I want you to see is that you didn't see any actuation whatsoever, right? So the light didn't light up. Why? Because it's a weak driver or a damaged circuit inside the computer, right? So I think the best and safe way to do or to go right now, because I don't want to, keep going with the test and it might end up damaging that very expensive component, is to, I'm going to just remove the connection from the EVAP. So it's no longer any load in there. We know that it's not working, and that was my main concern first here. I want to now run the full probe just to see if the computer runs good or not. Because again, I don't want to send this back and then doing something else. So let me prepare these in the screen and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got everything ready. The way that I set this up now, you will see not just I had the load boxes moved out of the corner, or not corner, under my simulator, the other one, and you will be able to see some lights from the distance right here. I can definitely hear it and see it, so which is exactly what I like the full probe a lot more. But now in the software, you will be able to see two coils firing, which is again on this center of the screen now. On the right side, you will have that green box that says full probe. Two spark plugs. You can definitely see it right next to, or on the right side of that big dial on the center. You have 4 injectors first, and then the 2 coils. So let's fire or run this up. So let me get into the full probe software myself, and then let's put some RPM. And yes, definitely we can see how this is running injectors and coils. And this is, what I like to see, because it's very visual. I can prove that they are indeed, and I can hear it and see it here, but I just not myself want to see it. I want to make sure that you and the customer can see that this is running good. So I have no problems on running. Spark plugs and coils, everything is good. So yes, I can now just focus into repair the EVAP problem that he has. And then I already had the approval to proceed from Anthony. So he has responded to my emails and approved the repairs, and then I'm going to proceed. So let me stop the video, and just for purposes of, not for purpose, for protection of my own company, I don't show much on these repairs, because there's a lot of other small facilities and big facilities that are trying to copy what I do, and that can destroy my business. And I'm sorry, but in these computers, I'm very protective. So I'm going to stop the video, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I finished the repairs. Sadly for this one, it was definitely all the way down to the analog to digital converter, and it's nothing I can do, right? So, all right, so let's do the test one more time. Let's enter the vehicle once again. I disconnected it. I don't know why this usually happens when I turn the computer on and off. Even though the scanner BCI is plugged in, it loses the sync on the Snap-on. I just heard a bit, but let's see, until that screen disappears from the right upper corner is when the PCI will be connected. Okay, and immediately read the VIN number, which is perfect. All right, so why has to stop? All right, KC24377. Going to engine, codes menu, and let's do the same test that we had before. I got the test light and everything connected, ready to go. All right, let's continue. I have not checked at this light, but let me see. Let me go back to clear the codes. Let me go into actuation, functional tests, evap canister, evap vapor management on and off. Should have done this in the first part as well. Give me 1 second, guys, to check the connections. All right, guys, I just needed to resolder the analog to digital converter. Yeah, it was actually one of the legs was not attached properly, and I needed to reset it. All right, but yeah, all is good now. So let's go back to the scanner. So let me get into that window. Yes, you guys are having a good view of that. So let's go over to the codes menu first and do a key on self-test, and we will see that this light now flickering. I changed it over to a yellow one because the other one was just too bright. And we can see the self-test being done in nice and bright light, which is very important. All right, let's just scroll down to faults again and see for the P0443. Just going slow so you can see we got the P0453, but that's nothing that we are working on today. And that is, again, just because it's not connected. That's a pressure sensor, but we got no longer the P0443. All right, let's go over to the actuation, functional tests, and make sure that you select the evap vapor management valve, not the canister valve, because that is not the correct valve. The canister is right, the canister uses in the front. All right, so let's do the on and off. Just to make sure that we can command it on and off as well with the scanner, right? So again, on, and we can see the light nice and bright, and then off. So all is good. And then now after repair, since I replaced the, what it is, return normal mode state after test, yes. All right, so now since I run the test, or not a test, a repair, I want to make sure that also I put the full probe in here. Let me move that meter to the correct spot because I was just showing you that. So I'm going to have to make that one smaller and make it go back to the bottom as I had before. And that we can keep, all that is important information to make sure that when we run the computer, everything is working good. All right, so let's run it. And we can see, injection, spark, everything is working perfectly. So the computer, what's his name? Anthony. Hey, Anthony, thank you so much again for trusting Mike Salazar Diagnostics. And for all of you that are visiting the channel, right now, your computer is fully repaired. Again, as you see, I take the time to do my connections, the full setup, so I can run coils or spark plugs and do the test 100%. No other company in the world shows and does the tests that I do for all the repairs. So when you send something in here, you will feel the confidence that it is a plug and play. And you can see and go and check my reviews. That is all just happy people. Maybe one uncomfortable person that left a bad review just because he believes so, even though all I charged him was for a test. But it's always going to be that person, right? So there's a lot of black souls around the world and around everywhere, right? But I have been surrounded by good people always. So thank you so much for visiting Mike Salazar Diagnostics. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.